hydrangea bushes that are at our local Chick-fil-A in our city, and I just had to get out to film these gorgeous, stunning hydrangea bushes. I just want to take a shovel and dig them up and put them in my yard right now. That's how gorgeous they are. And I just had to share these with you. Just look at them. They're so full and rich and thick. Look at those beautiful blossoms. Just gorgeous. Look at these right here. Just mounds and mounds of rows of just gorgeous. Just look at this. The signs of spring. Hi, sweet friends. This is Felicia for those of you that are stopping in for the very first time. In today's video, I am going to be sharing 5 tips in how I style my tiered tray for spring. Now, for those of you that do not quite know what a tiered tray is, it is layers or basically plates that are stacked one on top of the other typically with a dowel of some sort of rod separating the plates in between. So let's get started with styling the tier tray. Now, before we begin, I'm just going to show you some examples of a few of my tiered trays that I own. And what you see before you here is a 2-tiered tray. And as you can see, it looks like it's kind of a basket weave, and it only has 2 tiers, as you can see. And this one is more, I don't know, more casual, more of a beachy theme, maybe a shabby chic or whatever. So this is one version. So this is the next style of tiered tray that I have here. And this is also a 2-tiered tray. And the prong on the top, as you can see right here, has a heart on it. And it has this scallop effect going around the top and the bottom. So that is another style of tiered tray. And this is another example of a tiered tray. This is also a 2-tiered tray, as you can see. And the base on each of these are more of a wood type object, and it has a more open rim, smooth rim on outside. It's not closed up. And then you have this black rod. I really like this. This is giving me maybe a farmhouse style or a modern farmhouse, since it has this black rim going on the side. And all of these tier trays that I have shown you thus far came from Target for $5. So tier trays can come in any colors, any styles, any metals, any shapes, at any price points. But Target is one of my go-to places, the Target bullseye spot, to get a variety of tier trays for a very reasonable price. So now I'm going to show you the tier tray that we're going to actually decorate and style today. So now I'm showing you the tiered tray that I am going to be styling today. And as you can see, this is a 1, 2, 3 tiered tray. And there is no prong on top of this tiered tray, and that's exactly what I was looking for, because most tier trays, they have that prong sitting in the center, and this doesn't. And I also purchased this tier tray from Hobby Lobby. I got it for 50% off, and I think the total price for this tray was $20, I think. And I felt that that is a reasonable price for a tier tray. So the first tip that I will give to you is choose your tray. And so that's why I showed you various tier trays at the beginning. So right now I'm just going to remove this, put this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and show you my supply list. Now this is my supply list here. I have these metal houses. I like these because you can use them any season. So those are definitely transitional pieces. I have 3 angels here that I'm going to be using. I thrifted all of these items over 6 or 7 years ago. Then I have these beautiful mercury glass jars. I have 3 of those. I'm going to be using those to decorate this tiered tray. Let me bring you down so you can see everything. Okay, so I have my 3 mercury glass pieces here. And I don't think you had a good shot of my angels, but I'll make sure that you see everything clearly. And these are the angels that I'm going to be using here. And of course, I have all of my greenery that I'm going to be using. These are the greenery. And this is a big tray, so I can use a lot of items on this tray. I also have these candle holders here. Aren't they beautiful? They are very heavy, and I thrifted these over 6 or 7 years ago. Can't tell you where I got them from. I also have these little filler items here as well that I'm going to be using. And of course, I'm going to be using these soft colored roses here. And I do have some smaller ones in here that are actually pale pink. So I'm going to be using these. And guess what, you guys? I'm using a tier tray to display these. And I also pulled some of my hearts that I used during Valentine's. I like the color and I felt that they were blending well. And I also have my little sign here that I love. It says, God bless our little home. And also I have some of these candle pieces here that I'm going to put in those candle holders. And I also have this item here, this bubble glass. I love it. Just look at the detail if you can. I know there's a glare, but it is a beautiful vase. And this was a recent purchase, and I purchased this from maybe a couple months ago from the Dollar General store for only $1. So that is all the items that I am going to be using for this tiered tray. So let's get started. Okay, one of the tips that I use to decorate my tiered tray is to choose a theme for my tiered tray. So the theme for this tiered tray, well, the season I'm going for is going to be spring, and it's going to be French country inspired. And so that's the theme for this tray. Another tip that I will share with you is to use anchor pieces. Now you can use signs or whatever to put on your tier tray. I have that sign right there. But I am going to start with my 3 jars that I have, my mercury glass jars. And I'm going to put those on my tiered tray. Okay? So I'm going to take this first one and I'm going to put it here because it's the tallest. I guess I'm going to put that one up there. And then I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to put this in opposition to that one. And then I'm going to take the third one and put it down here in opposition to that. So you see how I did that there? I have 3 tiers. And I had 3 of the mercury glass jars. So you have to kind of play with your tier trays. And I might take this one down. And let's see, let me try this right here. and I'm gonna switch because that was a little bit too high for me. So I'm gonna switch. So I'm gonna put those there. All right. And so I am going to, let's see what we're gonna add next. I think I'm gonna add my sign, and I'm gonna put this in the center right here. And I'm also going to use my angels. Since I have 3 angels, this is very symmetrical for me. So I am going to put my first angel here. I'm going to put my next angel here on the second tier. And then I'm going to put my third angel on this bottom tier. And I'm going to fill this in as I go along, okay? So I'm gonna make adjustments and I'll be right back. Okay, I made a few adjustments off camera, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add in my greenery pieces. So I'm going to take this greenery piece and I'm gonna place this in the top. I'm gonna take my second potted greenery right here, and I'm going to put this down on the third tier, I think. And then I'm going to take this other piece here and I'm going to add this to the second tier in the back over here. And I'm just going to slant that. I'm going to lay it down and let it stick out in the back. And so the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add in all my florals. So now I'm showing you that I have added in my florals. I have all my greenery on each tier tray. So you have the greenery on the top tier, the middle tier, and the third tier. So it's being repetitive. That's another tip. If you're repetitive with some of your smaller pieces, it'll give you a more cohesive look. So then I've added in my pale white creamy roses. I have roses on all 3 tiers. As you can see here, I have 3 grouped here, 3 grouped here, and I have 2 here and 1 on this side. So I'm going to continue to fill in this tier tray because as you can see, I have a lot of gapping all around this tray. So that's another tip to have. It's good to have many pieces that you can use. And when I say, I'm not saying many, I'm saying many, like Minnie Mouse. Have many small pieces that you can use that can fill in those gaps. So that's where I am going to be using some of my candle votives here. I'm going to add those in. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to turn on the lights and set them on the tier tray. So I just got to, I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I think that's going to look dreamy. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And I just got to decide where I want to put the second one. I think I'm going to put the second one back here in the back. And I'm just going to go ahead and add in my other fillers and we will be right back. Okay, you guys, so this is what this tier tray looks like. It is all done, and I'm just trying to take you in so you can get a closer look. Okay, and let's look at that bottom tray there. You see how all the pieces kind of coordinate and tie together. Okay, and let's look at that top there. And I'm going to spin it around so you can see what the back looks like. So we're going to turn this around. And this really, I don't think the video is giving it full justice. But this is what it looks like. It is beautiful in person. Okay. So this is what it looks like from the back view here. And you can kind of come in, see that top tier. And then this is the second tier here. And that is the bottom tier. So now I am showing you the console table that I am going to install the tier tray that we just decorated together. I'm going to show you how to display it in your home. Okay, you guys, so now I have installed this tier tray and I'm just making sure that it is in the right position. So I'm going to go ahead and create an entire vignette to go along with this tier tray. Now, as you can see here, I have an empty space here on this side, and I also have an empty space on the opposite side here. So I want to fill in each of these sides here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in my candlesticks, and these bad boys are tall, so I'm gonna go ahead and place one on each side, because the decor rule is to decorate in odd numbers. So I'm gonna create that look by adding 2 candlesticks on each side of this tiered tray. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure that they are even here. So I'm just going to make those adjustments. I think this one is a little bit off. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in some of these battery operated candles. So I'm going to go ahead and add those on each of the candlesticks. And hopefully I have my remote where I can turn them on. So I'm just going to add that one. And I'm going to go over here to this side and add this one. And I'm going to find my remote so I can go ahead and turn those on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn those on. 1 and 2. So we've got those lit. And I just feel that there's something missing probably in here. I feel like it's a little empty in here. Even though we have, you know, the 3 pieces here, I want to fill in this section in here on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some more greenery down, and I'm just going to install this cattle-cornered to the candlestick. So I'm just going to move that over, and I'm just going to add that candlestick there. I move it over, and I'm going to add the floral arrangement there. So just let you see that. And I'm just go ahead and do the same to the opposite side to balance it out. And I know I said that you should decorate in odd numbers. That's not what I said, but that's a decorating rule or tip. And this is actually going to act as one unit. So that's why I'm placing each of these plants kind of cattle cornered or diagonal toward the base of this candlestick because it appears as one unit. It tricks the eye in thinking that actually your eye looks at it as like this is a candle ring, and there's greenery surrounding the candle. So that's why it tricks the eye, and it still looks like you have 3 sets on this console table. So there you are. That's how I style this particular console table with that 3-tiered tray. So I'm going to take you in for a closer look.